about what will come up. So many things that would gradually unfold. Of course, positive things, before the end of the year. And we're also praying for sound health so that we can actually be able to cross over,
Yes,
to the following year.
yes, so sound health is very, very, very important, because what is life if you have plenty money and then you're sick and you have to spend that money on it? Good health is underrated, but we thank God for good health, and we believe that we'll have sound health, like Tom has said, up until the year 2026. All right, let's get into the headlines this morning. Once again, this is Women Radio 91.7. We are now in the newspaper review segment of the Full Breakfast Show. Right, today, Friday, 7th November 2025. Things be happening. Like Thames sang, crazy things are happening. Now she sing, I'm not singer. Okay, Punch newspaper. Trump threats. Tinubu rallies foreign allies as North rejects Sharia ban. Anambra, the election is tomorrow, so everybody is waiting with bated breath.
What's going to happen right now?
Yeah, so like all eyes are on Anambra right now. INEC distributes sensitive materials. 55,000 policemen mobilized. Because I think that the thing is, this is sort of going to be the template for how the elections are going to. Everybody's watching to see how it goes. I'm sure there's a lot of pressure, immense pressure on the new INEC chairman. He's been going about making promises, so I'm sure that he's feeling the heat. Like, hey, it must not spoil in my own time, or they will say not even it must not spoil. It must not go worse in my own time, because eyes are on me. So yes, finally in the Punch newspaper we have 15-year-old Nigerian rescued from sex traffickers in Ghana. That is great news. That is great news.
All right, heading on to the Guardian newspaper. Senate clears air peace and fault NIC bid over conflicting Port Harcourt runway reports. Another one says anxiety, tight security as Anambra elects new governor tomorrow. I mean, everybody's eyes are there. Attention.
Yes.
We will all go over to Anambra because of a good number of things. I mean, people want to see how this election will be. There's a new INEC chair, if we're going to be having glitches or not, if all of the results are going to be transmitted digitally, or let's just, so there are just a lot of people are just waiting to see what will happen. And because this will definitely set a tone for the next elections here. So yeah, I hope they continue to use this to perfect everything before the next general elections.
In the This Day newspaper, we have court sets hearing in landmark case on rape, incest victims' rights. I did go through this article, and one of the things is that a victim is allowed to be allowed to have an abortion in the case of rape or incest. Because why are you forcing the victim to keep I don't even say consequences, but because it's not consequences to the victim, right? The buy whatever of this kind of gruesome, brutal crime. So that's what this case is about. So we will see, what it is. I'm sure that Highlands will discuss it at some point once they've deliberated and finalized. And then finally, with this day newspaper, we have US weighs military options as Tinubu restates resolve to defeat terrorism. The thing about this is we've been shouting about insecurity, but anyway, we'll move on to the next one.
Let's just move on. So we have all it takes now to defeat and to resolve terrorism. Okay. All right, Daily Trust, US threat, Tinubu response to Trump. Anambra governorship, INEC mobilizes 24,000 ad hoc staff as Siaga warns of low turnouts.
Okay.
I hope this will not, I hope people will come out to vote. Because I think people sit down and say, when to go up and make it happen. Let's not have that I don't care attitude. This is about, if not for you, say for your children at least.
Yes, and I think that's what made Soludo come out, because when I read the article again, I said, oh, Soludo was saying that he wants to pay 5 million, 3 million, 1 million because there is voter apathy in Anambra State. So it was doing it, not saying that it was legal, not saying that it's the right thing to do, but there is this voter. And to be honest, you can't really blame Nigerians because Nigerians are like, even if we would not be say the thing will still make sense. So
the trust is not there.
Yeah, why am I even voting in the first instance? But please, let's go out to vote. Let's go out to vote. Our power is our vote. Is our vote. All right, moving to the Vanguard newspaper, we have U.S. Congress proposes visa bans, asset freezes against Miyetti Allah. So Miyetti Allah is the cattle association, the herders and cattle association in the north. So based off of this whole banditry and terrorism, the US is proposing visa bans on that organization. Nigeria economy records strong growth. I know they like this kind of thing. Edwin, that's the finance minister. I'm just going to keep it moving. Alleged genocide. Nnamdi Kanu writes Trump backs US action against Nigeria.
All right, let's head on to the Premium Time. 7 years on, rape victims' family petitions IGP over failure to prosecute key suspects. The last one on Premium Time says FEC approves road project worth over 400 billion naira. So I hope that by next year, or in time to come, Senate will not sit down and start saying that they want to probe some of these projects.
No, they will come back and say they will probe now. What do you mean? Which day were we talking about the 200 and how much billion naira this thing on the dam? Did they not come back to say? And I remember you said, wait, I don't get. So if another government comes in now, they will now do another one again. This country already.
The Federal Executive Committee is approving road projects worth 400 billion. 400 billion. So how transparent would they be to see that this road project gets to the end of it, that we get to see this road project being done and people are using these roads? Because at the end of the day, we'll still come back and start saying that, a sum of how many billion out of the road projects that FEC approved, something happened to it, they have to probe further. Why hasn't the thing been done? Right? It's all right.
Okay, moving on to the Nation newspaper, we have Tinubu. We will defeat terrorism, secure every part of the country. Tariffs, imports, restrictions, others for review.
All right, on the cable, there's a law of karma. Damagun cautions PDP state chairman against disloyalty. Another one says IGP withdraws fraud case as Andy Uba refunds 400 million naira. The last one on the cable.
Wait, let me give you the gist about that one.
I just wanted to pass it quietly.
No. So the thing is, Andy Uba, and he has a partner in this thing, and then there's a third person. What happened was that they decided to promise. They said, if you want to be the president, I mean the chair of the NDDC, that's Niger Delta Development Commission, pay 400 billion. Is it million or billion? Pay this money, and we'll give you the position. That's what happened. Now, what's interesting is that they've now finally paid the money, so the police have withdrawn the case. Make it make sense. Why are you like? It is a crime that they have committed, right? So they finally refunded the money. First of all, let's even talk about where they found 400 million naira from in this same economy. They now refunded it, and the police in their right mind said, you know what, the resulting this thing, what we're going to do is we're going to withdraw all charges against you. That's what happened. Yeah.
Okay. Make we just move on. All right. Doro replaces Yulwatda And Uday succeeds in Nigeria. Tinubu swears in new ministers.
Mm-hmm.
All right, all this is coming in the wake of the whole, Nigeria Trump issue. Now,
Yeah.
Daily Post says, okay, let's head on to Daily Post.
Nnamdi Kanu may not appear in court Friday due to DSS obstruction, family warns. Northern Hausa Christians write Tinubu Fagbemi alleging persecution, denial of appointments. I'm actually happy about this one because a lot of the things we've been seeing is many of the government leaders have been saying that there's no persecution. In fact, Soludo, who's trying to come back tomorrow for the Anambra elections, did say that it's Christians killing Christians
Yeah,
in the news.
in the
And I
Southeast.
was like, well, okay. All right. We'll move on to the next one.
All right, on Tribune, it says PDP crisis, state party chairman back Damagun's NWC. US military drafts contingency plans for Nigeria amid Trump's threats.
Finally, in the dailies this morning, we have from the pen pushing newspaper, man raped orphan to death in River State. This is more than sad.
Now, this kind of people should be given life imprisonment with no with no bail, no parole, nothing. They should just be there. Like, nah, this is sad.
Orphan, nobody to fight for that person. Nah, okay. We're just gonna go straight into the headlines this morning. This one is from the Vanguard newspaper. This is a very interesting. It says Mba Fubara Abiodun worry over deplorable state of police training college in River State. See, when I read this article, I just started laughing because it cannot be today that I just realized that the state of the police college is deplorable. Can definitely not be today. And so I just thought, what are you doing? So Enugu State Governor Peter Mba, his Rivers and Oyo State's counterparts, Siminai, Fubara, and Chakpo Abiodun have expressed dismay over the deplorable state of the Nigeria Police Force Training School in River State. The governor spoke during an assessment tour of the police training. Now, what happened that brought this about? Thank you very much for asking. I will tell you. They were given a month deadline to submit a blueprint for the renovation and modernization of security training institutions across Nigeria. And on arrival, the audacity of people, they were shocked by the poor condition of the facilities, including collapsed roofs, missing windows, and overgrown grasses. Mba stated that the facilities have endured decades of neglect. I don't understand, making it impossible to train quality police personnel, while emphasizing that the situation is unacceptable and requires urgent attention. Do you know, I actually wish all our analysts were around today because I can tell you for free what they say today, but we are here with Adetone this morning. And Adetone, please, what are your thoughts on this? Because have you been to the police college in Ikeja? Have you missed it? Like, it's not nice. If you're driving on Mobolaji Bank Anthony, right, you can see into police college. Then if you go to, where's that other place? There's another one beside the Lagos High Court in Ikeja. Those places are not fit for living, not even talk about for training. And it's the fact that these governors who should be on top of these things are expressing shock. Please, if me as a citizen, I've been seeing this and I've been expressing shock, I don't get how you're expressing shock, but Adetone, over to you.
I think it's just having a lackadaisical attitude towards structures that have been put in place for specific reasons. When you use that word, in shock, I somehow do not see it as a shock because let's even look at the state where it is located. Are you telling me that the governor of that state is not aware that such a property is in such state? Are we saying that those who are heads of, the police force or the academy have not taken it as a priority to notify those in charge to make that place fit for whatever purpose it has been, put in place? And so there are so many questions that revolves around the stakeholders themselves, those that are managing the academy, the government of that state, and even if you look at it from the angle of gone are the days where you want to say that, oh, what government is doing is too much, is a lot, there's no finance here and there. But we have organizations, corporate organizations, who come in collaboration with state government to uplift some of these infrastructures and even support where necessary. Are we saying that they don't have such in that state?
Right.
So it's really sad that for a structure that has been put there for a purpose, we can leave it, that for it to remain in that state. There are staffs or there are workers, civil service workers in that state. There are some departments or agencies that are in charge of when it comes to sanitation or maintenance of particular structures as within the confines of the government. Are we saying that those agencies are no longer working and they are receiving salary every month? There are so many issues, when you look at this. And so I won't call it a shock. I just feel that it's more of having lackadaisical attitude towards government properties. And these are, money or projects that are being used, funds are being used to set up this project. And at the end of the day, we leave it in such deplorable state. It's really not something good that we can be talking about. And then you are also talking about empowering the resource, persons, the academy, where we want to, empower those in that particular field. And an academy has been set up. How do you train them in such an environment? And you want them to, to really have a sense of, oh, I'm equipped to do this work. So there are lots of issues attached to that. It's not really going to be called a shock. Rather, I would say it's an embarrassment to that state, to the state governor in that state, and to all the stakeholders in that state. And I feel that they should actually be able to, put things together and turn that place around. If it's an eyesore, it's an eyesore. There's no excuse for it. So they should look for a way to ensure that they do something about the deplorable state of that facility.
I actually find it interesting that this is coming on the heels of Trump, because what Trump has done now is he has kickstarted, a chain of events that you're just like, but we've always known this. Like, so you mean that we can actually solve the problem of security in Nigeria? You mean that we can actually look into the police colleges and see that they are in a bad shape? Because hearing that, some of the governments are saying that, the police force are also going to be mobilized to fight terrorism. Are you saying that they did not know what their job description was from the beginning of time? Like, what are we saying? What are we doing? What are your thoughts on that?
They actually know. I see some form of lackadaisical attitude, and then I see that we don't want to be progressive, we don't want to be productive. If you can't take care of the human resources attached to a particular government agency, then you are not talking about the infrastructure. So you've not taken care of the people that are supposed to be doing the work, and you've also left the facility in such a state. It's not that they are not aware. You see, one thing that I'm always so particular about, and very interesting also, is that when we have maybe let me say countries, coming to pick out some loopholes in what we are doing, it seems it gets us on our feet. Why will it take a whole American president to point out some of these things? Why will it take our government to now start seeing that, they need to do this, they need to do that? We've been talking about the insecurity situation in Nigeria for as far back as I can remember. And we always say that the human resources should be empowered and the facilities should be made available, accessible to them so that they are empowered to do what they are, actually, expected to do right from inception. But we've seen that our government, they've fallen short of that largely, to greater extent. They've left some things undone that should be done. And then you also ask questions that, whatever move that Trump is doing right now has actually turned the country upside down. Some people are even silent now. Ordinarily, they would have spoken out, but some of them, because of political reasons, they are all silent now. Nobody wants to say, oh, if I talk or if I say something, I might not get the necessary votes I'm supposed to get towards the election. Meanwhile, this is the time you should be speaking up. This is the time that action is needed for things to shift, for things to move. Absolutely. But you find out that there are a lot of, silence here and there. And then they come out and start talking and you are wondering, where have you been? So if it didn't take an American president to begin to identify some of these things and to, to be aggressive enough to want to take over, it's as if he wants to take over the government of Nigeria. It's as if he wants to take over the country because it looks as if our government are not doing anything. It's as if they are not making efforts and it's taking another president from another country when we should have been proactive enough to act. It's taking that kind of president to begin to ignite fire wherever it is. It's really sad because these actions or inactions of the government has brought us to where we are today. Absolutely. And I feel that it doesn't make any sense. This is democracy. When people talk, whether they are criticizing or condemning the government, it is expected that they act. It is expected that they put aside whatever emotional attachment they have to their office and do what is expected of them and be responsible to this nation and to its people. But it's just too obvious that they have not done that. And it's taking another president from another country to come to want to start to tell them, oh, you should have done this. Oh, this is what you should have done. It's really sad.
It's really, really, really sad. Time check, it is 5 minutes to 8 this morning. You are still tuned into Women Radio 91.7 FM, the voice of women. We are Nigeria's first and only radio station for women and their families. We are currently in the newspaper review segment of the Full Breakfast Show, and we are discussing, certain headlines that have caught our eye. Currently, we are discussing, the state of the police colleges, training institutes in Rivers State, and the fact that our governors are saying that they are shocked at the deplorable state of the colleges. I don't know why they are shocked, but we have our analyst with us this morning who's been shedding some light as to why this might be and as to what our leaders. I think it is Prince that says he doesn't like calling them our leaders, but I'll call them our leaders. What our leaders, are doing, because Trump has that's the only way I can say it. I don't have to say it in English. He has set things in motion, and now we're seeing our government officials running helter-skelter, left to right, front and center, actually speaking on things. But then there's a difference between speaking on things and actually doing them. So we don't know if this is all talk or if they're going to back up their talk with action. I'm worried because this week we had talked about how Trump is planning airstrikes, and there's been conflicting, opinions on Trump's intervention in Nigeria. Some people say, yes, let him come. Since we don't want to have sense, let somebody that can help us come and help us. And then some people are like, this is a recipe for disaster, because if you look at all the other countries that America has intervened in, they've been left as shadows of themselves, right? So I would like to know, before we go to the next headline, Adito, do you think, what are your thoughts? Should Trump, are you for Trump intervening or are you against him intervening?
That's a very tricky question for me.
I'm sorry.
Well, I'm actually an advocate for doing the right things. And when the right things are not done, you need somebody to push you to do the right things. Okay. Even when you know you are supposed to do the right thing, and you have this sit back attitude, and you are not ready to do the right thing and make changes and get results at the end of the day. We've said when we continue to sit in one place, we won't get results. When we are not ready to make initiative to start making progress, we will remain static. We won't move. And so, in as much as Trump has his limits in his interference in affairs of Nigeria, you must agree with me that even Nigeria itself as a country, we go out of these borders to intervene in some country issues. You know, and they those countries try as much as possible to listen to us. So how much more? And that's why I mentioned that they actually need someone to put them on their toes, you know, and you know that if you are a member of, let's say, United Nations or some of these bodies that come together, and there are other countries, they pay attention, they have interest in other countries' affairs. So that is where America is, and that is where other countries are. The same way, we also have those relationships with other countries, and we can go in and meditate and all that, you know, mediate in a way in their affairs. So it is something that is actually being applauded, or something that we can say it is acceptable, because we are members of certain organizations or committees around the world. But when you look at it really, do we need a Trump to come and tell us that this thing is happening in Nigeria before we can act? Do we need a Trump to tell us these are the loopholes before we can act? And you said it for me. It's not just about paying eye service to some of these things, now going helter-skelter. It is about action. What follows after this? Or when Trump's voice goes down, we too will go back to our shell and say, oh, after all, the news has passed, so let us relax again. So it's actually a good thing that we are having this interference. But if you look at it really, must we expose our bomb out before people can come and say, oh yeah, clean it up? Oh, can't you see that it is out? We need proactiveness from our government to do the right things and not keep silent. For the fact that something is not affecting you directly doesn't mean that you shouldn't talk. You are responsible for people in this country, to the citizens, to the country itself. You must speak up. You must take action. When things are raised, you must be proactive enough as a government to respond quickly, not until when an external body comes in.
All right, it is 8 a.m. on the dot right here on your Women Radio, WFM 91.7. This is still the newspaper review. I think the phone lines are now open. You can go ahead and dial the numbers 07000 917 917. You can also dial 09155 917 917. Our toll-free line is also up and running, and the number is 0800 1235 917. That's our toll-free line. To send WhatsApp messages, you can send to 070-317-56537 or 08155-917-917. Let's get to hear your thoughts this morning, because at the end of the day, we all want a better Nigeria. So please, let's get to hear your thoughts on any of the headlines that we have taken this morning. Are we looking at the issue of the police college training, or the police training college? You know, not just in Rivers, everywhere safe. The one you were talking, if you see the one in Kaduna, I left Kaduna like 3 years ago, so maybe something has been done. And then we expect that we want these people to work effectively. We have, okay, let's just leave that. But there are a lot of issues when we want to look at the training college. There are just a lot of issues there, and looking at what is going on as regards Trump, and to an extent, what Aditon has just talked about. It's like, so we had all it takes to actually fight terrorism. There was a time where we were calling for, there was always a call for synergy amongst all the military parastatals we had. All the police, navy, all of them to come together and put resources together and fight terrorism. We go talk, nobody go answer. Anyway, hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Warden. Good morning, Adeto. Good morning for me. God bless you.
Good morning, Evangelist Dixon. I'm happy you're calling because this is your matter.
Yes. Let me say this. All that have advanced a lot, it has a lot of history to tell the young people. What I think, Nigeria, our problem is called, I attended this training school. The facility, even when we are there, we contributed to the ACs and so on. And I started as a corporal. I retired. When we get there, the AC, some of the things are not in place, we have to contribute. All is corruption. Everywhere, every institution, like Nigeria. I mean, for the right in my little places. What Trump is saying, I like what he's about, you should not take action on Nigeria. Nigeria is a sovereign nation. In any country they intervene, the American interests of Nigeria will intervene in other African countries, but never keep the Nigeria interest. After we have done all, we left. But all this, right, remember they've been predicting that Nigeria will divide after one nation to the other. When Nigeria never divide, Nigeria never split. Maybe now. By the time America talk now, this one, China will start supporting Nigeria. Other will say, the Americans will say, people support America, you will not come into our country and pieces all of us. You should be very careful in what you are doing. Me, I'm old and willing to go at any moment, but I fear for my own children and young people that are starting their life. And some people will come and say, I'm afraid that, yes, this what is saying we put our government, because all these things are politics. They know the right thing to do. All these people, they story they give the name to our president. And what have they done? Under this, we should not. I don't like the talking Christian or Muslim. We are all, and I have told you from all these days, God, there are certain like Muslim, Christian, Igbo, Yoruba from Christian, we all are from Adam. It's true that try to raise up and Muslim and Christian. And I told you, we are, because I have Bible, I have Quran, and I've told you, I have preached so many Christians, so many Muslims have gave their life to Christ. The message is Christ. At the person of community to speak the name of Jesus, and that's just when I come to the Christian, I mention Jesus. When I come to the Muslim, I mention the name of Jesus, and they accept Jesus Christ, and they accept it. And we should, when we accept it, we become one. We don't need to. If you lack understanding, please let us support that. America, they have their own problem also. Do you think that now? Why are they saying that people want to go to America? Go and see what they are doing in their to receive American visa and every other day. If they really truly love us, they should give us equipment, drones, and some of them that we use. We can fight these people, not them coming in. If they come in, America interest for us. I love this country. I've enjoyed this country. This country was not like this before. All of us in our little place, what are we doing? Make Nigeria, they know what we can get out of Nigeria. Nigeria will be built again. And we enjoy this country. Let us do this and we get there and do the right thing anywhere we are. God bless our days and God bless you. God bless Nigeria. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Evangelist Dixon, for your call. I wouldn't thought you were going to talk about the state of the police colleges this morning. I wanted a proper eyewitness account, but yeah, thank you so much for your call. One thing that Evangelist Dixon does is he's always pro Nigeria. You say, I've enjoyed this country, my time I can still enjoy it, and that's what it is. You know, our older generation enjoyed Nigeria when it actually mattered. So how was Nigeria for you when back in the day?
Well, it was good. I remember, I don't want to mention so that you don't laugh. I still always use that as an example. There's a particular bread that was sold as at that time. And when I look back now, I'm like, this particular bread that was sold around that time. Now, if you look at the gap, the price, I'm particular about food because I'm just like, when you take food away, what else is we're all working so that we can be healthy and all that. But really, if you look at it, there are some things in Nigeria that I enjoyed far back then that I don't see anymore. And a lot of things have changed. You know, even the work environment too has changed. Gone are the days where you are at liberty. When you close from school, you go home, you do your house chores, do your homework, you sit down before the TV. By 4, NTA is coming up with one children's program or opening up the station. Yeah. But now, where is the time to even sit down and start watching TV? Everybody's running helter skelter. You want to make end meets. You want to survive. You know, so it's even it's more like it's even more tense now than before. Even then, they were still, our parents were always complaining that during the monitor last time, this is what was happening. But even as at that time, it was still a little bit, flexible for people to move around, for families to, to adapt and all that. But now there's a lot of tension everywhere, and we don't have room to now start adding killing of people. We don't have room to not to be tolerant of each other. There's no room for all that now. All our energy should be concentrated on making sure that this country still stands. We don't really need an external body to start doing all what they are doing right now. If we put our own house in order, we don't. We should think and go back to the drawing board. How is this country? Where is it going? How was it before? What do we expect? What are the expectations from the government and even from the people, so that we can continue to stay in this country? The caller said something. He said America has its own lots of problems, just like every other country. Adding Nigeria to their own will just make matters worse. And then those of us that we have the problem, we're also having headache upon it. So I really think that the government should have a rethink on what is really going on. Let's clean our house. Let's put our house in order, so that we know that this country belongs to all of us, not just for some sections of people because of politics, or because political propaganda, or because of the election. Let's make the priority of citizens in this country very important. No matter the administration that comes on board, there is always criticisms. But we are saying, out of those criticisms, take the positive things and begin to turn the narrative around for this country.
Thank you so much for that. At this phone, let's take some messages this morning. Beautiful morning and happy weekend to you all in the studio. Thank you. Same to you. Trump coming to Nigeria is a welcome development, because that was the request from Tinubu and Co. in 2012 and 2013. Oh, subsidy is gone. President Tinubu said that his name is supposed to be in the Guinness Book of Records. Yes, God has answered his prayers under his government. Nigeria was named the capital of poverty in the world under him. We are turning to one-party country. Under 2 years, he has borrowed more money than any other government in the history of Nigeria. Under him, we saw Boko Haram and bandits negotiating openly with AK-47. Under him, no more protests. Civil societies, religious leaders, and elder statesmen are being silenced. Under him, we are more divided than ever. So his name will be in the Guinness Book of Records, but in a negative way, which is quite unfortunate. Oh God, arise and trouble those who are troubling Nigerians. Thank you, Mayor from Ikotu, for your message. Olushoga from Odonlaikorodu says the US has never had a call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
MC from Alagbado.
Hello, MC from Alagbado.
Hello.
How are you this morning?
Yeah. Well, I'm not contributing to any topic. I just want to give the word of advice to you, because I love you as a radio station. Please, when anybody calls in this issue, free nonsense, out of ignorance, call the person off so that you don't put yourself into problem. Please. It's just a word of advice I'm giving you. Some people are speaking out of ignorance. They don't know that they don't know what is on ground. Thank you.
Thank you so much, MC from Alagbado. Everybody has equal opportunity to speak their ground. You might say that the person is speaking ignorantly, but that is from your own perspective. Somebody else might call right now and say the person that just called now too was speaking from ignorance. We are here, we're journalists. We are here to, regulate the conversation. So we give everybody equal opportunity to speak. When what we have issues with is when what you're saying is divisive, is disrespectful, and is not civil, then we will cut you off. And as always, we give that disclaimer. But in your bid to want to advise people, take the advice for yourself as well. And everybody has an equal chance to speak over here at Women Radio. But thank you so much for your call. All right. This one is from Olushoga from Odonlaikorodu. He says, the USA has never visited any country, and that country remains the same. But when you go out and you don't lock your door, you have clearly invited thieves. Nigerian government acted like nothing happened after the incident in the northern states. What Nigeria truly needs is not a foreign savior, but legitimate, accountable leadership, one that protects all citizens, upholds justice, and ends the cycles of corruption and violence that have left the nation broken. Thank you so much, Olushoga, for your message. Finally, we have Lekon from Lagos. He says, good morning, crew. Congratulations. Your doctors are on strike. Your president is imposing 15% tax on your fuel. Also, by January, you'll be taxed. Anyone defending this government will look stupid in the midst of reality. This government is the worst in history. 2 years of nightmare, sorrow, tears, and blood. This government is like a student that failed an exam and you are praising yourself. Also, you want to promote yourself to another class. It's about imposing yourself for 2027 like Pharaoh, even though you haven't done anything but tax the daylight of Nigerians, borrow to loot, live a luxury lifestyle. Like I used to say, the foundation that brought this government to power is not credible. All that it does won't work. A government built on lies, eye service, and propaganda, and history and hypocrisy, beg your pardon, square pegs in round holes, compromiser of institutions. Okay, your message is long. Thank you. But we get the message. You are upset at Nigeria. Very upset. Bal Okachi says,
hello, good morning.
Oh, hello, good morning.
Good morning. My name is Francis from Darfur.
Darfur, yes. Hello, Francis. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. I just want to advise those into poultry, rearing cow and fish, chicken, and every other animal that they should get ready. Next year, there will be a tax on them all. They will be paying tax for rearing chickens, cows, fish, and even all this what they call it,
pigs,
and so forth. They should be ready. We are coming with a tax 2026. Please, let them note that.
Okay. Thank you so much, Francis, for calling to tell us that we're going to be taxed on our poultry. Thank you so much. I'll take this final message before we go to the next headline. Val Okachi says, it is unfortunate that Nigeria has been plagued with generations of irresponsible, insensitive, wicked, and corrupt leaders. Like the analysts pointed out, these rulers know exactly what to do to put things right, but they are too selfish and criminally minded to do what is right. Our rulers profit immensely from the filth within the system and are very comfortable with it. Whichever way we look at it, Nigeria needs help, and if it will take President Trump to put our rulers on their toes, so be it. The difference between Nigeria of my childhood and what I see today is worlds apart. I look forward, beg your pardon, to the birth and emergence of the beautiful ones in Nigeria. Good morning to you all and have a blessed day. Thank you so much, Val Okachi, for your message. To be fair, I'm not that old, neither am I that young, but the Nigeria that I grew up with isn't the Nigeria that we're seeing now. And it's just so unfortunate because the younger ones, when we were in secondary school, they told us that we were the leaders of tomorrow. I don't know. Are we? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, let's go to the next headline. Rose, would you want to do the honors of the next headline?
Oh, yes. The next headline, and I think the last one we can take because it's about 16 minutes after 8 right here on, I want to say Harlands. On newspaper review right here on Women Radio. Okay, so let's look at this particular one coming from Premium Times, and it's about the unfortunate death of Mochanya Wagje, the 13-year-old who died in 2018 from complications linked to VVF. Now, the report says 7 years on, rape victims' family petitions IGP over failure to prosecute key suspects. Now, so 7 years till today, they have not been able to find the son of the man who both of them continued to rape this young girl at a very young age. She wanted to stay with them to this very moment. The guy, Victor Obuja, has not been found. All right, now the family of the late Ochanya, a 13-year-old girl who died in 2018 from complications linked to prolonged sexual abuse, has petitioned the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbatokun, to reopen her case and declare the prime suspect, Victor Obuja, wanted. Now, the petition signed by human rights lawyer urged the police to recall the case file from the Benue State Police Command and place the suspect on watch list. Now, what is even more annoying is that they said the guy, please, since that day, since that time. So are we saying that up to now, they can't stay, this 7 years on, up to now, he's nowhere to be found. And then the man himself, that's the father himself, um, who actually, with his son, continued to rape this lady. When both of them were accused, the victor has been declared wanted by the police in 2018, but has remained at large since then because he evaded arrest. Now, his father was later arraigned for the rape and culpable homicide, but was acquitted by the Benue State High Court in Makurdi in 2022 in April. Now, on that same day, separate case, the Federal High Court in Makurdi convicted and sentenced his wife. I'm sure maybe we'll remember this part of the story that a lot of people, got agitated for. They sentenced his wife, Felicia Ochiaga Abuja, who was Ochenya's guardian, to 5 months imprisonment without an option of fine for negligence that exposed the child to sexual abuse. Now, the people that perpetrated this thing, they can't even find them. One of the guy, up to they can't find him. The father was taken into custody, but was later left because at the end of the day, what happened, okay, by the Benue. So now the Federal High Court was later upheld by the Court of Appeal in 2022. So now we're seeing that 7 years later, justice has not been served. And let's not forget that, was it yesterday, we brought up the headlines of 14 years imprisonment for sexual harassment in secondary schools. We also saw how the Senate, talked about those who rape minors, and he defined they were going to, I think some of the punishment that was to be given to them. Now, how, if this is 7 years later and justice has not been served, what is now the way forward? We cannot even, this one, we're still dealing with it now. It's either the state court is saying something else, the Federal High Court is saying something else. At the end of the day, we'll not come and see that, it's getting to the Supreme Court. So what is all of this justice, system that is just breaking in between? It's not looking straightforward. It's because you're looking at the thing clearly. They're telling you that this man abused this lady, or this set of people abused this young girl at a very tender age, and then you brought him in and you're letting him go. And then you are carrying the wife and giving her how many months of imprisonment without option of fine for negligence. I don't know if I didn't understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know, the whole thing is just like, it's not clear at all what in heaven's name is going on there. This is 7 years after, and the family are still demanding justice for this that happened, if not because of our remembrance that came up. And then, people on X actually took it seriously. And that's where a lot of people that didn't even remember the case or know about the case started being interested in it. 7 years later, Detone, let's say your thoughts before we wrap it up this morning.
Well, my thoughts are very, very simple and straightforward. If you look at it, really, you've done a lot of summary on this. My response will go to this sets of categories of people: the Federal High Court, the State High Court, the State Governor, the State House of Rep, the Senate, Nigerian Police Force, the Judiciary. When I mean the Judiciary, I'm not restricting it to the states. I'm saying generally the Judiciary. They have kept quiet on this case for 7 years. Even if we had a different governor coming into Benue State, this case would have been there. He would have learned about it. He's a Nigerian. He's a citizen of this country. So there's no how you can say that, I didn't know about this case. 7 years down the line. And we have still not gotten justice for this child. And then what it means is that children are not safe in that state. This is the same Benue State that came out through their governor that, people are coming into their state, they are killing them, they have to be armed with guns. And you still have this kind of crime taking place against the most vulnerable in that state. And everybody is keeping quiet. We have said it, we are breaking the silence culture. But is this protective enough for the children of that state? When all the stakeholders involved, They are not saying anything. They are not doing anything. If we don't have remembrance, would they have even remembered that something happened several years back and they need to look into it? If they have a new governor, what is the new governor doing? And then the families are saying that even the perpetrators, their families are threatening them.
Yeah.
The law, as far as I'm concerned, in Nigeria, is no respecter of any person. And when we begin to do, it favors some people, it doesn't favor some people, we are putting the lives of those vulnerable in that state, we are putting them in danger. And I need to commend the Lagos state government for what they are doing. In terms, when it comes to violence of any form, whether against women or against children, they take it seriously. They have a specialized court for that. Go to the office of the public defender. You will know what is going on. Go to the agency in charge of sexual violence and domestic violence. You will know what is going on. They don't leave anything untouched. They make sure if you perpetrate that kind of crime in Lagos, as they always say, not in my Lagos, you will face the consequences of the crime. So they have shifted from whatever the constitution is saying, they have carved a niche for themselves in Lagos state, and they follow the law true and true. What is Benue state doing? That children are not safe in that state. The government should be responsible. The judiciary is responsible. Everyone is responsible in that state for what is happening right now. It's not until when Twitter or any social media and carries it. That child was born in that state. She is an indigenous of that. Whether she's alive or not, justice must be served. And I think that is what the whole message is all about.
Okay. All right, thank you so much, Adito. I think that's a good place to just leave this issue. But we'll continue to talk about it because we want our justice system to be better. We want all our security agencies to be able to take such cases seriously. Let us get to see that justice is served, because that is where you will gain trust. That is where you gain the confidence of the people. That's when a victim should beat her chest or his chest and say that I know that when I go to the police, this case will be solved, this case will be sorted out. And not the case of even if I go to police if is problem. Was it not a few days ago we were talking on her lens where a woman was beaten up because she helped the police to solve a case? So after the whole thing, the people that were involved followed her and started beating her in her own home. So in that case, where is the protection for these victims? Where is the protection for people who would come and want to assist you in your case? I watched a movie last night where if you see how American people were protecting this witness with their lives. But here, I don't know, but there's just a lot. For me, I think this is where the end for us.
I'm not even understanding. People have just been sending me messages, but we can't take a message. Sorry, we have come to the end of the full breakfast show of the newspaper review segment of the show. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sending your messages as well. Thank you for every single call that came in this morning as well. We truly appreciate you. We understand that, look, the economy is economy, but the fact that you take out time out of your time to listen into the show, to send in your comments and messages, we truly appreciate you. Adito, thank you so much for always coming on the show. Today, I felt your fire. All the other days, you've been very, very mellow, very chill. Nigeria's matter is she. It's like, we're not doing that anymore. How they say, you don't give what needs palm oil blood because the two of them are red. So yeah, thank you so much. We have come to the end of the show this morning. Catch you on Monday. Enjoy your weekend, though, Faji. Go out, eat food, eat puff, have fun this weekend. Make the most of it.
Well, I know they finish.
They finish, exactly. So Monday we will be back at the grind again. All right, have a great weekend. God bless you. Still stick around with us on Women Radio. 9 o'clock we have the news. 9:05 you will be seeing Rose for her lens, and the topics today. The women join us on that conversation as well on her lens at 9:05, and 10 o'clock is Radio Doctor. We are packed. We are ready for you this morning. All right. Goodbye and God bless.